Hey everyone, Carol Cowan here from carolcowan.ca. Today's topic of conversation is the stigma of mental health, social media, and the DSM-5. I have here today, it's a guide to the DSM, an interview guide. And so there's a combination of things that are happening. I think we're seeing less and less stigma around mental health, which I've been in the field for 20 years, so it's quite a relief to see that. And I think what's actually happened is we've swung to the opposite end of the spectrum now, because on social media, what we're finding and what we're hearing is that people are using diagnostic terms for mental health all the time. And there actually might almost be an overuse of that. So people are saying things like, oh, I totally have OCD, or I have PTSD from that experience, and it was, relevant to something relatively small in their life. Or everyone's a narcissist, and yes, there are abusive people out there that are narcissists, but there's some qualifying terms around things like post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and narcissism. And that's where this little book comes in handy. So this is just an interview guide, but the full DSM-5 is available, right? It's also available online. It's pretty easy to find it. But it's got the qualifiers for everything from eating disorders to substance use disorders, major depressive, panic disorder, certain phobias, post-traumatic stress disorder, which also includes CPTSD or complex PTSD, and then a whole separate section on personality disorders, which also includes narcissistic personality disorder. So I'm not a doctor, I can't diagnose, but this guide comes in really handy when I'm working with my clients or making a referral to a psychiatrist who can make a proper diagnosis. When we have that diagnosis, we can sometimes use a combination of certain therapies and or certain medication, depending on what the client is open to, so that we can really help that person to the best of our ability. It's a combination of that. So as much as I'm really happy to see that there's less stigma around mental health and people using these terms more and more, being more open about it and talking to people about their symptoms and their experiences and what they think they might have, I think it's also important at the same time to be mindful of how often we use these terms and to trust that there are people that have diagnosis and to not to minimize their experience at the same time, because that part's important too. Anyways, take care and have a great day.